In my book, Geeks Bearing Gifts, I kind of accordion the definition of journalism. At the broadest level, to my mind, journalism helps a community organize its knowledge to better organize itself. And that can include a lot. But at the very narrow end, when we worry these days about trying to preserve the most important elements of journalism, I'll be controversial here, and I think that journalism at some level is advocacy. Advocating for the little guy, advocating for justice, advocating for truth, advocating for honesty. We are advocates for something, and we can't act still as if we're just separate from the community and objective and apart from life. No, we're part of it, and we have to recognize that and act like that. So journalism at its most valuable core watches government, finds corruption, asks the questions that aren't being asked in the flow, reports, and does the difficult and brave things. That's the core we have to preserve and protect about journalism. That journalism improves people's lives and their communities. Fake news is a fake label. There's no such thing. There are lies, propaganda, fraud. There's all kinds of specifics here. What's put under this umbrella of fake news includes things that are economically motivated. If you can get people to click on it, if you can put up a cheap computer ad on it and make a few pennies and do that millions of times, you can make real money. So we have to cut off the economic motivation for putting up junk. Unfortunately, the economic motivation makes everybody put up junk today. The other is propaganda. That's fake news, so-called, that has a political motivation behind it. And that's going to be harder to deal with. But the way we deal with that is not by trying to cut it off. We believe in free speech in this country. You have a right to lie if you want to. We have to find ways to gain the trust of people so that when we tell them uncomfortable truths, they might listen to us. So oddly, I think we have to start new outlets. And chief among them is outlets that serve people who've never been served well in media. African Americans, Latino Americans, Muslims, immigrants, women, people with disabilities. The list goes on and on and on of people who aren't represented in newsrooms and aren't represented in publications. But along with that, I also believe we have to better serve the conservative worldview in America, because we don't do that. We in liberal media left a vacuum that was filled by Rupert Murdoch and Breitbart and Drudge and far worse. John Borthwick, who heads BetaWorks in the city, an incubator for many, many companies here, and I came up with 15 things that we think that Facebook and Google and media can do. Among them, and some of these things have already started, Facebook needs to be able to work with media to bring more true news to people at the moment in which they're going to click and read or share. And Facebook already has that mechanism to say, here's a related item. It may be a Snopes item or something else that says that's not true. We also need news literacy, and that may include saying, oh, that site you just linked to, it's only 2 days old. It's probably not a real news site. Or that meme you're talking about, it's been spread around all over and been debunked already. But we have to go to more work. We can't just expect people to sit there and everyone in the world is a journalist who's going to spend a half an hour investigating something before they click. So we have to recognize that and not feed as much clickbait into the system. We've trained users this way in big time media because we wanted their traffic. And we have to give them more information at the moment when they make these crucial decisions. So here at CUNY, I helped start a program in entrepreneurial journalism, which enables journalists to start their own businesses and make their own inventions. It wasn't possible in the old days of mass media. You couldn't afford to. Now, with a blog or with Facebook, anybody can start a journalistic enterprise. I also helped start a program in social journalism, which really just changes the idea of what journalism is, takes it away from the idea that it's content, that it's a product, and instead realizes that journalism properly conceived is a service to a community. We don't know what the internet is yet. We're still trying to recreate the old world in the new. We don't know what it can do yet. We don't know what artificial intelligence can do to listen to conversations and give us data and information and personalize for us. We don't know what it really means when absolutely everybody on Earth has a television reporting device in their hands. We don't know how to listen to communities in new ways. The work of reinventing journalism has just begun.